What if there was a way to get so lucky that it feels like cheating, like you've broken out of the matrix? Well, let's go over 3 ways that I think that you can. The first thing is to get in alignment with your purpose. There's a Japanese framework called Ikigai, and it has essentially 4 different circles that form a larger Venn diagram. One of the circles is what you love. The next circle is what you're good at. The next one is what the world needs. And then the fourth one is what you can actually get paid for. Now, go through this framework with yourself and make sure, if you're not already, doing something that's in alignment with where you would meet in the middle of all of those 4 circles. You see, having this alignment essentially makes all of the rest of the stuff that I'm going to go over work without even thinking about it. I actually, before I started my YouTube channel, I sat down with ChatGPT and I did my Ikigai. And it came up with some different names for the channel and like concepts that would work with what I had given it. And it came up with the inner operator. And I was like, oh, that's it. The inner operator. And although that channel is Keith D, and now this one is the inner operator, it's all a result of what I had done that day with ChatGPT, just sitting down, talking about what is my Ikigai? What is that thing that I can do without even having to think about it because it's my passion? Which leads us into point number 2, which is to be relentlessly consistent. You have to be relentlessly consistent. Just for a personal anecdote, yet again, as I was starting that YouTube channel, guess what I did? I sat down and I would make at least 1 video every day. It got to the point where I was making 3 videos in a day. And some days I would even sit down and do 5 videos. Now, obviously, I had a little bit of time and I was able to do that. But the goal was to just iterate and to just get content out and to see what people were going to do as a reaction. How are they going to react to the content? And so I did that, and it got to the point to where I was ahead for literally like 2 weeks or 3 weeks worth of content. And the thing is it got to the point to where I was posting twice a day sometimes, because I would just make another 3 to 5 videos in a day. And I was like, well, I'm ahead anyways, and I want to see how this one performs. So I'm just going to drop this one. And eventually I had so much content that was coming out. This all happened within a month, that one of the times when I dropped another video in the same day, eventually that video blew up. And when I say blew up, it got like 100,000 views. It wasn't like insane. But anyways, like at that point, I had like 2 weeks worth of content that was still just going to keep coming out, whether I, made more content or not. And I actually had to stop the release of all of that content because now people were coming in and seeing that one video that blew up, and we're going to be expecting more videos like that. And most of my videos weren't like that. So I had to stop all of that and also improve the quality of everything that I was putting out before all that work that I had put in could even be released. But all that happened because I was being relentlessly consistent. Like every day I was sitting down and just coming up with some ideas and working with ChatGPT to come up with ideas and like talking to it about my experiences and using technology as well. Let's push that into the equation here to get lucky really fast by just iterating and just being consistent. So that's number 2, and technically 2.5, because dude, use technology. Leverage the power of technology. I've always got ChatGPT open, always. I take a mic around with me everywhere I go and I talk to it. I talk to it all day long. People don't think anything of it probably because I'm just talking into a mic and it looks like I'm talking to someone. I'm talking to ChatGPT like it is my personal assistant So that's 2.5 is use technology, because quite frankly, AI and all this stuff is like magic right now. Point number three is to use the power of pattern recognition, because there's almost always this opportunity in life somewhere where there's this underpriced, undervalued window of opportunity that people aren't seeing. So for me, what it was YouTube, period. And I kept seeing people blowing up on YouTube left and right. And I'm like, what is going on there? And I'm telling other people about it. And I'm like sending videos to people. I'm like, look at this. Like, this just blew up on YouTube. Like, what is this? How is this happening? And I was like, you know, I need to start making content. Like, I need to see what's going on. And, you know, how do you get better at recognizing opportunities? I would say for me, what I did was I've read a lot of books. And specifically, I read books either written by the people who have identified incredible opportunities in life or that were written about them. One of my favorites would have to be The Greatest Trade Ever by Gregory Zuckerman. And that is a biography essentially about John Paulson, who was pretty much, you know, the guy who came out the wealthiest from the 2008 financial crisis. He made like $20 billion off of that. And the cool thing in that whole story was like, not only did he identify the opportunity, but he was relentlessly consistent and persistent in seeing that opportunity through. And that's why he made it way harder and bigger than anyone else. Because a lot of people, they either took profits too early or they went in too early and never came back right to the trade. Um, and so that's how he came out on top. Was he was early, but he kept going. He stayed persistent. He stayed consistent, and he leaned into the things that he understood very well. And he was like, I'm not gonna just let this go. I know that this is what's happening. And not only that, but he rode it all the way through to the bottom. I mean, think about sitting up in a position, you're up $15 billion and you just don't take profits. I'm just like, no, it hasn't collapsed yet. And I say 15, but like, imagine you're up like 2 billion, because that's more realistic. Like, that's actually what he was doing. He was up billions of dollars and didn't close out his positions. He was like, nah, it's not time yet. Like, the level of conviction that you have to have, and you have to have seen for sure the pattern of what was happening right there. Anyways, read books about people who have recognized patterns in history or that are written by those people. The other thing is to actually network with people who are seeing things in a different way or who are in different fields, but that are just as smart as you or that are smarter than you. That's another great way to be able to recognize patterns, is to get that cross-disciplinary information. So those are the three things that you can be doing to get so lucky that it feels like you're cheating. The first is to get in alignment with your purpose. That Ikigai framework is super powerful, and I highly recommend actually using it in your life. The second is to be relentlessly consistent. And I'm going to tack onto that persistent. And 2.5 was to leverage technology to make that easier, and in general, just to help you with all of this stuff. And third is to train yourself to recognize patterns, because the people who make it the biggest in life are the ones who can really just recognize a pattern. That's one of the most powerful skills as an entrepreneur, as a business person, as someone who is ambitious in general. That's me. This is the Inner Operator. See you next time.